Yo, what's good, internet? And today I will be talking about my build for Moze specifically. So in my case, I feel that this specific build is only for defense. It's not really on offense. It's a little hint of offense, but technically it's mostly on defense. So of course with my skills, I tried to use most of each skill tree. So the minigun tree, the grenade tree, and the railgun tree. I used all of them, but it's still, like, you know, not as perfect as I intended it to be. But looking at it now, I realized that the build is kind of good because my Iron Bear is kind of like meaty and it makes it good for defensive play. Alright, so let's go talk about these skills that I've used. So in the minigun tree, I used the Cloud of Lead, the Danka Bear, I don't know how to pronounce that one, the Stroke of Embers, Reach Distribution, Russian Offensive, and Scorching RPMs. The ability augment that I used was Gentle Winters, which is like where you shoot cryo rounds, and each time you shoot, you'll deal less damage, of course, but that's why I use the Scorching RPM, so it'll increase critical damage, so when you freeze them, you'll deal at least a bit of good damage. Another thing that I actually want to talk about is the Cloud of Lead. Even if you're in or out of your Iron Bear, you'll still do that incendiary damage, so it's definitely good for certain weapons. For example, if I use like a shock weapon or whatever, I still would do incendiary damage and do shock damage at the same time. And you don't really have to worry about ammo because of the redistribution, so whenever you do a critical hit, you'll also regenerate ammo as well, which is also good. So let's move on to the grenade tree. Most of my time was actually spent on the grenade tree. So on the grenade tree, I've used the Fire in the Skadden, Deadlines, Grizzled, Stainless Steel Bear, the Auto Bear, Pull the Holy Pin, Vampire, and Why Can't I Carry All These Grenades? The ability variation that I used was the Vanquish of Rocket Pods, where you just shoot volleys onto those enemies. And with that, I used active tracking, which actually like a homing missile. So I've used Stainless Steel Bear and Deadlines, so my Iron Bear can literally last longer into the field. I use Grizzled, so right after you use that specifically, the cooldown will literally increase a little bit before you'll be able to use your Iron Bear again. And the reason why I use the Auto Bear is because of the Danka Bear in the minigun tree. So right after I can get off it, it literally lasts a couple of seconds before it self-destructs. So I use the Danka Bear to get up to the minigun and deal additional damage that comes with that. I use Vampire so I can at least gain a little bit of my health, and then I use Why Can't I Carry All These Grenades, so I can have, like, you know, more grenade capacity. So that's out the way, so let's hop onto the railgun tree. Damn, I do not use this fucking tree. So the abilities that I've used was Selfless Vengeance, Security Bear, Armored Infantry, Veldorf Ingenuity, Experimental Mutations, and Full Can of Whoop Ass. So of course I've used Full Can of Whoop Ass for the shield recharge rate, and then I used the Veldorf Ingenuity for maximum shields and shock damage resistance. I did this specifically so when you aren't using your Moze, you at least have like a fighting chance and you will have like a good survivability. Of course, I've used Experimental Mutation so I can literally increase my incendiary damage. And the Self-Vengeance is up to your choice, to be honest with you, because literally it'll give you more incendiary damage, but it will definitely cost you your health. I literally just tried Selfless Vengeance out to see if the incendiary damage is worth it, but in my case, throughout most of the enemies that I've been fighting, it was definitely worth it on my part. And finally, of course, I used the Security Bear, so literally again, so I could literally survive a little bit longer out in the field. So again, most of the time that I've been playing, I have mostly been playing on the defensive. I haven't really gone out to the offense unless I actually needed to do so. And again, depending how good you are, that build may be for you. And you can play this mode on Mayhem 1 and Mayhem 2 maybe, but I highly advise you to be with a group if you want to do this in Mayhem 3. And the reason why I say this is because even though you do a lot of damage, most of your damage will be on your grenade skill tree, it's really not enough, especially with the armor and health, because most of those Mayhem 3 enemies are really meaty. But other than that, this is definitely good for solo and cooperative play. So overall, I really had fun with Moze. So I highly advise people to try out Moze, because for most of the time that I've been playing, I've seen most people play the operative, the siren, and even the beastmaster, but no one can give the gunner a shot. So this is my guide on how to, build up on Moze. So of course, if you like this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. I do reviews, videos, PvP matches, streams, and more. And if you haven't yet, please don't forget to follow me on my Twitch account and my Facebook page, because I stream on those platforms as well. Everything should be in the description box below. Deuces.